So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our first speaker, Harold Brian C. Geronimo.
Building a strong nation through effective communication. So basically, I would like to share with you what a study from Kantar, Philippines, which they shared also during the Public Relations Congress. And I want to relay this because it's their latest study back in 2021 on the media landscape in the Philippines, in the state of Philippine media. Now, everything is actually going digital fast. When COVID-19 happened, we were all forced into our own cocoons for extended periods. We were physically cut off from the world, and our only other link to everyone else was through the virtual realm, through social media mostly. So this led to a dramatic increase in screen time as we slowly tried to adjust our routines, and work from home suddenly became a thing, and kids had no other choice but to adapt to e-learning setups. Our media habits also changed almost overnight, especially after abs-cbn was forced to shut down in the middle of 2021 after they were denied of a franchise. Cinemas also suffered usage due to restrictions on indoor gatherings and mall closures. Print media suffered distribution issues as well throughout the pandemic. I'm sure Manila Times knows that. Radio also got fragmented and changed in terms of preference. Traditional radio was still relevant, but usage has gone down dramatically. Two new segments on radio, particularly streaming radio, with a lot of Filipinos shifting to catch their favorite music or streaming or online platforms. And then there was also significant growth of the podcasts during this time. The increase in screen time meant an increase in video consumption through social networks. This made YouTube a viable alternative for media outlets to stay relevant and visible. So during this time, a lot of media outlets also shifted their content to YouTube. Whatever you watch on television, even what you read, they converted their content to YouTube as well, or they shifted to YouTube as well. TV usage also changed. There is still traditional TV, yes, which has high usage and high access, but we also saw the rise of TV on demand and streaming. So the digitalization of media outlets went on a hyperdrive. As a result, almost all traditional outlets have now become multimedia outlets, as most have established their footprint in multiple offline and online channels. We have been known all over the world as the biggest users of various social media channels pa rin. So we're still very active on social media, even if we are already suffering from low. There are several areas na medyo dead spot for internet, but we're trying our best to still connect on social media. We now established the fact that digitalization really played a key role for media to remain relevant and visible to audiences in various virtual platforms. Because of this, social media became a major factor in how the public forms opinions, perceptions, and lifestyles. Whether it's about their favorite actors or actresses, about their favorite sports, the brands that they like or don't like, and more importantly, even in politics. The rise of social media also opened up a whole lot of challenges in terms of how we can effectively utilize truth communication, which PRSP is advocating, to champion innovation and progress in our country. So the challenge now is how to fight lies and advocate the truth. One of the roles of communication is to help push the good reputation of the country as a viable investment destination in the international community. So this is a primary role on nation building the primary role of communication in nation building. By making our economic gains and reforms known to the world, we will be able to position ourselves as a profitable partner for many developed countries and industries who want to expand their businesses and industries here in the Philippines. In turn, these kinds of investments will help generate long-term employment for many Filipinos through millions of direct and indirect jobs. So communication really plays, public relations really play a very important role in this aspect. Second, effective communication also allows us to champion brands and micro and small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, that help propagate progress on the local and regional levels. So you know how important right now social media is for a lot of MSMEs, a lot of small businesses that flourished during the pandemic. Itong mga food brands, diba, that deliver where we order during the pandemic, social media really played an important role for them to grow and flourish during this time. Third, as industries start developing, we must also utilize effective communication to inspire good in the country by propagating the idea of sustainable lifestyles. As we all know, a lot of companies in the Philippines, especially the big conglomerates, the publicly listed companies, we are now very conscious about sustainability, on how we'll be able to help address the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. So it is the communication also plays a very important role in number one, explaining to companies the importance of thinking sustainability. Second, in helping companies communicate what they do to the public so that the public will know. And lastly, also to inspire communities and other companies to also adopt sustainability. Lastly, in terms of the role of communication to nation building, with about very relevant election is coming, so a few weeks to go, with about 52% of the electorate mostly identifying as either millennials or Gen Zs, that's 52%, so that's more than 30 million. Digital and social media will really play a key role in helping them form their decision about who to elect as the next set of our leaders in the country. Some groups have seen this years ahead. In fact, 2 to 3 years ago, you have seen that a lot of candidates, especially those for the national positions, they have begun, doing brainwash communications to the young generation of in order to promote their good reputation. So way back in 2018 and 2019, I have seen a lot of candidates. They have not declared their candidacies yet, but they are already on social media. They have their YouTube accounts. They even have TikTok accounts talking about what they or their families or their previous positions have done to help the country. On the other hand, social media usage will also be vital in addressing corruption and transparency issues in the upcoming elections, because it makes it easier for people to take part in the election process. Any irregularity that happens real time can easily be posted real time as well and circulated real time as well all over social media, whether it's on Facebook, IG stories, Twitter, or even YouTube. That is how important and significant the role of communication, the role of social media. Everyone can be a communicator, because everyone on social media can actually, during elections, can actually send out photos or videos of irregularities or anything about the election real time, and usually media would pick that up. Mainstream media, traditional media would pick that up and make them as stories as well.